Good morning, viewers. Meet again with me, Hana, Gloria, and my partner Felix, Octavianus. For the next few minutes, we will accompany you to discuss news about COVID-19. COVID-19, or coronavirus disease 2019, is an infectious disease caused by a new virus called SARS-CoV-2. This disease first identified in Wuhan, China, in the end of 2019. The virus widely spread over many countries, and then, in March 2020, World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a pandemic. This disease attacks respiratory system. COVID-19 also makes people who get infected experience several symptoms. The common symptoms are fever, dry cough, and tiredness. Some also experience itch, sore throat, diarrhea, conjunctivitis, headaches, and loss of taste or smell. Meanwhile, the serious symptoms are shortness of breath, chest pain, and loss of speech. However, there are many who do not experience symptoms. It takes about 5 until 6 days to the symptom to show. However, the incubation period takes 14 days. People who has mild to moderate illness usually can recover without hospitalization. Meanwhile, those who experience serious symptoms have to seek medical attention. The virus spreads through the droplets when infected people sneeze or cough. Therefore, World Health Organization gives the way to prevent infection, such as washing hands regularly with soap and water, avoiding touching face, covering mouth and nose while sneezing or coughing, staying at home, refraining from smoking, and practicing physical distancing.
Inside Wuhan, inside one of its makeshift hospitals, every patient here is suspected of having COVID-19, including Li Xiaoxiong, a 29-year-old local. When Wuhan was locked down at the end of January, a city of 11 million people quarantined, Miss Li started volunteering. That work was dangerous, and as a result, Miss Li got sick. This is her being tested for COVID-19. She transmitted the infection to her parents, who are in a stable condition. This is the first time Miss Li has told the truth of Wuhan, and she's worried. What's the situation been like in Wuhan? Have hospitals been overwhelmed? The official narrative put out on state media was that the government had things under control, and that was the only permitted narrative. Miss Li herself was interviewed by Chinese media. Miss Li says Wuhan has improved significantly since then. Conditions here are good, with daily exercise. Medical workers have been dispatched from other provinces, and there is plenty of food.
这是我们的湖南中医药大学 你好，你是来自哪里的？
来自湖南中医大学第二附属院。
大家可以看一下他这个胸牌啊，这是过来支援我们武汉的医护人员，他在给我们发饭准备，挺好的。说实话，中国还是蛮厉害的，毕竟这么严重的一个疫情，如果就是说割给别的一些比较小的地方哈，可能根本就得不到控制。武汉还能够说就是组织到这么快的情况之下，马上就封城，然后大家都在家里面都不出行，都这么。
Since we spoke, Miss Lee's latest test for COVID-19 came back negative. She'll stay here for a couple more days, then go home. Miss Lee's story, her despair, her hope, is just one among tens of thousands of COVID-19 cases. They all have scars. Tom Cheshire, Sky News, Beijing.
Covid-19 is an infectious disease caused by a newly discovered virus, namely SARS-CoV-2. This virus first appears in Wuhan, China, and eventually spreads in many countries, including Indonesia. In Indonesia, the first case of COVID-19 reported on March 2, 2020. After WHO declaring COVID-19 a pandemic, all the activities such as working and studying are done in homes. However, the case of novel coronavirus keeps growing. In the end of March, the total case of this disease reaches 1,528 cases. To respond to this pandemic, UNICEF has been leading effort with the government, the World Health Organization, and other partners. The President also issued regulation regarding the pandemic. Government Regulation number 21 years 2020 is issued to regulate the large-scale social restoration or PSBB and is implemented in coordination and collaboration with various parties in accordance with statutory provisions.
自2020年1月23号10点起，全市城市公交、地铁、轮渡、长途客运暂停运营。
10 a.m., January 23rd. Wuhan goes into lockdown, an effort to stop a deadly virus from spreading further through the nation.
是看到整个武汉市都公交车、地铁全部封城了，然后还有很多人都没办法回家去。其实我是很同情他们的。
Chen Heng, a migrant worker, was among those who were forced to stay.
所以武汉地铁所有的交通都要关，所以我们在外面走，路上好多人。
He and his fellow workmates finally found a shelter, an underground parking lot.
我们准备去那个叫什么，有个地方就是救助站什么东西，刚好那天晚上下雨，我们找了个地方躲了一下，雨下来，我们再慢慢的走。就走了半路，他说不收人了，他觉得那边人太满了，他不要了。
As Chen was walking in the rain, the number of confirmed coronavirus patients in Wuhan on day 1 of the lockdown was announced, 495. 10 times the number 2 weeks earlier. 9 million people were still in the city.
These authorities have traced a new deadly virus
from the wildlife sold in
this seafood market
in Wuhan that was illegally selling wildlife.
This seafood market was once believed to be the ground zero of the virus outbreak. Local authorities shut the market on January 1st, but the virus was already on the move. Dr. Zhao Zhigong was one of the first medical workers to face the virus in Wuhan.
对那个病人来说，他是从外地来的一名患者，发烧，有食欲下降，有咳嗽，然后同时他的 CT 当时在当地诊断的是肺炎。然后，但是我们就是拿当时的诊断标准，因为当时诊断标准第一条很重要，一定要有华南海鲜市场的接触史。
Wild animals were blamed, but evidence already pointed to human-to-human transmission.
有人传人，事
83-year-old epidemiologist Zhong Nanshan, regarded as a national hero during the 2002-2003 SARS crisis, broke the news to the public.
这个资料表示呢，它是肯定的有人传人。这个现在啊，绝大部分呢是来自于武汉或者去过武汉，所以现在呢，我的总的看法呢，就是没有特殊的情况呢，是不要去武汉啊。
It alerted people across China while the situation in Wuhan deteriorated.
And that's the news for this morning. I'm Hana Gloria and my partner Felix Octavianus. See you next time.